So now I'd like to talk about some basic arm postures and arm movement and hand movements in belly dance. So let's start with our posture that we discussed in the first section. Relaxed, breathing, shoulders down. Not pulled down, but in a nice, comfortable position. And let's take the arms up here. So this is a very typical arm posture. You don't want the arms here straight. You want them relaxed here, elbows down. Hands generally down or comfortable. This is a very common arm posture, and you'll see this a lot later on in the DVD. And also here, this L shape. And when people tend to focus on the shoulders, they tend to tighten them. It's just our tendency to pull up and to have a lot of tension in the shoulders. So you can think of releasing that tension and lengthening the neck and being very comfortable with your arms out or up. Yeah? You can turn the hands in. So you use your arms a lot as a frame. Here I'm framing my head. And here framing my hips. Yeah. So now we'll move on to the hands. This is a very nice hand movement. And to do this movement, you can think of having a bowl of frosting, like when you were a kid. And you want to take that frosting off of the inside of the bowl. So you're taking it off, taking it off. Yeah, and with the other hand. So I start with my palms facing out. And I'm taking the frosting off of the inside of the bowl. Yeah. So you can do this with any arm position. If I want to, let's say I have my bowl of frosting here, it's the same hand movement. And of course here. So again from the front. Now I'm going to take this movement out to the side. So all I'm doing is moving my arms. The hands are doing exactly the same thing. And there is a little bit of tension in the hand. You don't want the hand to be limp. Yeah? You have a little bit of tension there. Now let's take the arms overhead. So here I have 2 bowls of frosting above me. And I'm still relaxed. I'm still breathing. And now we're going to keep the hands going. And one is going to come down in front of me. And then out to the side. And it's going to meet the other hand overhead. Let's do that one more time. I'm going to bring both hands down and take them up. And again, from the front. Yeah? So let's move on to shoulders. And the shoulders, we're gonna start with a shoulder roll. Yeah? So from the side, my shoulder goes forward, up, back, and down. Forward, up, back, and down. And then we start to make a smooth circle with it. So instead of here, where I'm hitting the points, I'm rolling my shoulder back. Let's look at it from the other side. Yeah, let's try both shoulders together. So this isn't particularly a move that we use in Middle Eastern dance, but when we start to alternate the shoulders, one and then the other, one and the other. This is something that we use. And take care that you're not tensing up, you're not tensing here through the jaw, you're not bringing your shoulders up. Yeah, relax. Breathe. Think about the tension that's happening here in your stomach and your abdomen. Are you pulling in to get your shoulders out? No. Yeah, release. Everything is nice and easy. Yeah, and your face also. Your face is also relaxed. No jaw clenching. And notice my hands. They're just following along. Now I'm going to start to lift my arms. So I'm still rolling the shoulders. And the rest of my arms and the hands, they're just following the shoulder roll. Now I'm leaning slightly forward. Yeah? Slightly forward. And from the side. Yeah, so this is nice and easy. With a slight plie. And the arms lifting again. Breathing. So another shoulder movement, a shoulder shimmy. You start this movement by moving the shoulders forward and back, forward and back. So I'm taking one shoulder from the side, forward and back, forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. And from the other side. Yeah. From the front, I'll do one at a time. Now with the tempo of the music. And again, the shoulders going forward, forward, forward. It's a small movement, yeah? I'm not here. You can do this, you can play with this movement after, but in learning, keep everything within a comfortable area of your body. You don't want to stretch things, overstretch things, because if you haven't done belly dance, you might be using muscles you've never used before, so you don't want to end up sore in the morning. You don't want to end up with a neck ache. So little movements. Yeah, so I'm going one at a time. Now I'm going to alternate. Yeah, one and the other. So the idea of a shoulder shimmy then, we can use this shoulder pop, I guess you would call it, for an accent. Yeah? And this leads into a shoulder shimmy where I'm moving one after another fairly quickly. So back and forth, one and one and one and one and. So this is going forward, back, and this is going forward, back, but I'm alternating them. First one, then the other, one, then the other, one, then the other, one, then the other, yeah? So the idea of this then is to speed it up. So we get them going pretty quickly. This is at tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Yeah, so my shoulders are alternating, going back and forth fairly quickly. Yeah. So now to stylize this in the Egyptian style, you concentrate less on the shoulders and you let the movement travel into your chest. So I start to forget about my shoulders moving quickly, and I start to put my focus, my attention on my chest. So the shoulders are still moving, but I've forgotten about the shoulders, and I've released all the tension in my chest, and I've let the move travel down. Yeah? So I just want you to see the difference. Here I'm thinking about my shoulders moving forward and back. And here I'm thinking about letting the movement go into my chest. And my chest should be relaxed anyways. Going back to the basic posture. I'm breathing through the chest. I'm not holding it. I'm not tensing it. The chest is relaxed. So when you start to move your shoulders forward and back, the chest kind of naturally follows from that. Yeah? Breathing. Think about what you're doing here. Are you contracting? Are you pulling in? Are you tense? Release that. A nice solid base. Yeah, let the air move up and down through your body. What you're doing shouldn't affect your breathing. So I'm not doing these movements by holding my breath or by breathing in and out, yeah? These are muscle things independent of the breath. Yeah. So now I'm going to lean slightly forward and slightly forward. From the side. Now I'm just putting my weight from one foot to the other. It's nice and easy. Breathing. Relaxing the shoulders, just letting them go, yeah? And you can think about the tempo of the music also. You don't want to be outside of the tempo of the music. So if my music, I have to listen to my music and find the shoulder shimmy that fits within the music, yeah? I'm keeping the beat with my shoulders and my chest. Let's take the arms up overhead and down into a nice shoulder roll. And into an easy shoulder shimmy. And back to one shoulder. And let's alternate. And shimmy. Let's take the arms overhead. Nice breath and come down. So now let's move on to some arm movements. So let's start with this movement. So I'm going to break it down for you. We'll start with just one arm. Imagine that you're holding a basketball right in here, yeah? So my basketball is here, and I'm holding on to it till I get to a certain point, and then I just gently let it go and it falls to the ground. Yeah, one more time. So I'm holding the basketball, I'm holding on to it, and then it just falls to the ground when my arm moves off of it. So then, as my arm has come up, I've dropped my basketball. I let my elbow fall, my wrist, and my hand. Yeah? So I've got my basketball, and I let it go, and then the elbow, wrist, and hand follow through. So let's try it on the other side. Basketball, I'm holding it up here, and then I just gently let it go. Yeah? And pulling it up, and gently let it go. And one more time, I'm holding on to it, and there, I've released it, and the hand follows through. Yeah? So you don't want to get a breakdancing look where you're here. Yeah? You want to keep it all smooth, relax. Again, shoulders relaxed. I'm very relaxed. I'm holding the basketball. It's coming up, and then I've released it, and it's all coming down. Yeah? And on the other side, coming up, releasing it, and everything follows from there. So I've got my elbow, wrist, and hand, elbow, wrist, and hand. Very soft. So one arm, and the other arm. And one arm, and the other arm. So the idea then is to do one arm and the other arm in succession. So this arm is up, I'm holding my basketball just as I've released it. I start to bring the other arm up, and then I've released that basketball, and each arm then goes one after another. Yeah, so here's the basketball on this side. I'm dropping it, and I'm picking it up on the other side. So one after another. We'll just keep this going for a few minutes. And so also I think when people tend to first start learning this movement, they tend to start with the shoulder. So the movement kind of starts with the shoulder going up and then the elbow and wrist. And that, that's giving you a different kind of look. We want everything to be a little bit sexy, a little bit relaxed, a little bit sensual, yeah? So instead of concentrating on the shoulder going up, think about breathing, the shoulders coming down, and we're lifting really from the arm and not the shoulder. So it doesn't start here. It starts here, yeah? And the other side, starting from here. And let's keep it going just for a few minutes. And don't worry if you don't get this the first time. It's not really an easy movement. We don't do this in our normal lives. So just keep working on it. Work on one arm at a time. If you just really can't get it, do one arm. And then do the other arm. And then try and put them together. Yeah? So what we're going to do then is we're going to take this arm that I'm starting with the basketball, and I'm going to take it all the way overhead. So then when I come back, I do the same movement. It's just a little bit larger. So I'm coming up, everything's following. I've already dropped my basketball. And then at the top, I start to descend, and then the hand goes up and over. Yeah? Let's try it on the other arm. We've got the basketball. It's dropped. And here the hand follows from the top of the movement. Yeah. And coming down. And the other arm going up. And the last thing is the hands. So now we're going to put these together, one arm after another. So let's take this arm all the way up. Yeah? And then the other arm starts to come up as the first arm is going down. And the hands at the end start to make a little frame. So as this hand falls over, This hand starts to curve in a little bit. And some people call these snake arms. You can kind of see why. It's very snake looking. And again, breathing, and the shoulders down. You can kind of think of something snaky, something serpentine, and let's take it back to the center. Yeah? So what we can do then is we can keep the arms going, but we just change the position of the arms so that I've got this movement in front. It's exactly the same movement. So I'm doing exactly the same thing with my arms, one following the other. I'm just moving them to the front of my body. Yeah. And sometimes that gets confusing when you start changing arm positions. We'll just keep it here for a second. And let's look at it from the side. Yeah, so you can see, it's the same movement. I've just changed the position of my arms. Let's take it back to the side. And a little bit bigger. And a little bit bigger. So I'm going to do it very slowly now. I'm going to change to the front very slowly. And again, this is a kind of sensual, snaky movement, so you don't want a lot of tension. And you don't want breakdancing, huh? Keep it flowing. Let's take it back to the front. We're gonna do kind of what we did with the shoulder shimmy. We're gonna take it forward, lean a little bit forward. Yeah. We can do this on the diagonal. So I'm going to do this a little bit larger in front of my face. And then I'm going to start to bring the arms back to this position. But I'm still doing exactly the same thing. So I'm moving my hands like this. I've just changed the arm position so that my arms are bent here. Yeah? They go from here to here. And I don't know why, but when you do this, it seems to get much more complicated. Beginners generally can do this movement, but when it comes to this movement, something goes haywire here. But it's exactly the same movement. So we start here, and we just bring the hands, they keep moving, and the arms come right in front of the body. And I'll do this really slowly, again, in leading with the elbow, the wrist, and the hand. Elbow, wrist, and hand. Here's one arm. And the other arm. And this is even nice with one arm. And together. So this can kind of frame your face. And very slowly. And let's take it back. Yeah. And again to the side. And don't forget your snake feeling. And back down to the center. And back to the front. So I'm just turning my body position. And again, framing your face. Elbow, wrist, hand. Elbow, wrist, hand. Is it getting easier? And we'll just change each arm position. Back out to the side. And let's take the arms up overhead. So something nice about Middle Eastern dance is that your hands are generally between here, here, and here. You're holding your hands up a lot, so you get a lot of workout, you get a lot of strength in your shoulders and your torso. And for women who have a little bit of meat up here, it's actually good because the idea is to kind of get everything moving. So if you have a little bit more to move, then it looks even better, I think, especially with the shoulder shimmy. Yeah. A lot of times in the West, we're taught that this is just really unattractive, right? Well, with Middle Eastern dance, it kind of adds that extra element of movement. And also having a little bit more here too, and a little bit more of meat on the shoulders, it kind of gives you, these things start to move, these things start to move. Yeah? And it's nice, I think. Yeah, with here. If you have a little bit more to move. So now I'm just going to put all of the movements that we've talked about, kind of one right after another, and I'll keep talking you through them and see if we can't go from one to another. So let's start with the hands. I'm going to start with the hands out here. Remember the bowls of frosting. Yeah. So I'm taking the frosting off and putting it back on. So let's go to the side. And take it overhead. And out front. And then let's take one hand down. And out to the side and up. Now I've crossed my arms, and I'm coming down in front. And one more time. So cross your hands. This is very nice. And we'll take it with the shoulder. Some snake arms. And to the front. Yeah. And a little diagonal. And we'll lean forward just slightly and come back. We'll take it to the other side, leaning forward slightly and come back. Now going back out to the side, a big snake arm. And take your arms to the center with a little shoulder pop. Nice and gentle. A little flirty. And a little shoulder shimmy. And release everything there. Don't be tense. Don't fight what you were given, huh? And a little shoulder roll. Let the arms follow along. And we'll take it up with one last stretch. Nice breath in and release.